Nah, it's good. It's good.
Okay. Okay.
But can you set a timer for at 2:25 so I can get in
Okay.
this other truck and leave?
All right. Let's see.
I should have grabbed my other phone.
Let's see. 2:25.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
ready to go.
all right. Well, if people come in, people come in. If not, it's still recorded. But today's conversation is just about recognizing toxic family patterns and dealing, I guess, dealing with toxic family members or not dealing with them. But we doing the most to bring y'all this conversation, so let's get into it. You wanna go first?
Oh, wait, what? Nah, I'm gonna let you go first so I
um
can pick it up.
So I would just say, like, as far as toxic family members and just the family, like, back in the day, the family was, you could depend on them and stuff like that. It was, a community, but it was your family. And I just feel like nowadays it's not like that. You have family members that are jealous of you, they're envy of you. You gotta watch what you tell them because you know what I'm saying, they might not be happy for you. I know a lot, it's like a popular term, preying on your downfall, but I do feel like that is an actual thing when it comes to your family members. Because if you tell them, oh, I got this opportunity or this job or whatever, they might not necessarily be happy for you. They might be hating on you and stuff like that.
One thing, because what that reminded me of when she was saying that, I basically give how I feel about family and the reason we like this. So if we look back in time, you can pick whatever you want to pick. Humans had more problems. The more technology has advanced, humans don't have to worry about going to get food. We don't have any worries, any human worries for real. So I'm sorry when I looked at them views, it kind of, but
It's going up.
but no, but look, yeah, we don't have any worries for real, and that has took a big effect on happy birthday. That has took a big effect on on the family structure system.
Right.
Just not having so much to worry about. We so independent. We just worry about going to work, doing this. We don't worry about family dinners. That's a rare thing nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's so much like different ways obviously it's like when you get grown, everybody gets their own lives. So whether it's starting a family and you're just busy with your own family, or you have to work a lot because you have to pay bills, or just, whatever it is, it's so much causing the division between family members, jealousy, you're mad because such and such is doing this and that, or they got this car, when there's no reason for that to be going on in the family. Everybody can be happy for each other and what's going on in each other's lives, and you just don't see that nowadays.
Everything is about being independent, standing by yourself. And that's a strong way to have, but I feel like it's way more prominent now. Everybody is just, oh, I'm doing things by myself. I live by myself. I go out to dinner by myself. We don't even anybody in this watching. When was the last time you and some friends just go out to eat? Or how often do you do it? And it's like we just need community again. Community.
Yeah, definitely, I agree too. And it's like you see nowadays, from the internet, how you were saying about the internet advancing and stuff like that. You see from the internet, people are coming out, and there's this whole cutting off the parents, cutting off the family members, and stuff like that. And we see that that is a thing that is, like he said, very prevalent in today's times and stuff like that. But you hear the reasons why people are cutting off their family members, why they're cutting off the parents and stuff. It's the access, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like I feel like a lot of people take access for granted. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're my family member, oh, even if I do something wrong, I'll always have access to you because you are my family member.
Hmm. Right, and that's the thing. And we have family, we have family, but we will also meet people out in this world that make us feel wanted, make us feel valued, and things of that nature. Just like me and Devontae's relationship. Um, in family, we are not often allowed to even express who we are. We're not allowed to be ourselves. They have a certain image in their mind of you, and that's what they want you a lot. That's what some people want you to stick to. But we gotta realize a lot of stuff. At the beginning, whoever's still in here from the beginning, at the beginning, I forgot the damn title. I just went all in a different direction. My
It's
bad.
okay. Yeah, and I think also too, it's not just your immediate family, it's parents too. Um that a lot of these parents, they're not reflecting at the things that they did wrong. They're blaming everything on the child. And so if you're not taking accountability where you went wrong as a parent, how do you expect the child to take accountability for their actions when they become a teenager, young adult, and things like that? Like the parents are supposed to set the example, and a lot of parents are not doing that. You know what I'm saying? There's parents that, you know, violence is being displayed from, violence with the significant other or the parent, or, violence towards the child. So what do you think that the child is going to do when they get older, or when they get old enough? What do you think the child could possibly, turn against you because you've been displaying this nasty behavior towards them all these years, and they didn't have no choice but to deal with it.
Selfishness. And that's the thing. That's what America teaches. Put you first. Obviously, you have to love yourself, but people would true. I know some people. You will go out to eat, and then your kids, you'll feed them some chicken tenders, like, and it just shows. It shows. I understand kids and adults don't eat the same thing, but we have a nasty way of thinking, just a selfish way of thinking, and how are we gonna change it? It is so many people with these type of stories where you're pushed away from your family because you don't fit. It's just so independent, or you're actually wanting to be accepted for who you are, but a lot of people in your family are not being who they are. So how could they accept you? So
Mm.
I think we have to start building communities. Like people who join these type of lives, we have to come up with something where we change and actually show what community is, because in the African American community, we don't have a lot of um what is it called, like a village type mindset. We don't have a community, a real community. But
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. That
the
was a lot said.
yeah, and it's the younger generations. It's the younger generation. We can say we have to adapt to the new way of life. We cannot really even people stuck in their old ways that don't want a community. That's where they're gonna be. It's like but I'll let you go back. So I can
Um,
get off topic.
I was just gonna say, like, I like what he said, and all his points was like very valid. And I understand that back in the day, people didn't have the tools, but now it's just like if you're having issues with your family, deep rooted issues, you can go to a professional and talk about the issues. You can go see a therapist and stuff. And the thing about it is I feel like a lot of people, I mean, there are people out there taking advantage of it, but a lot of these parents, even though everything has been said and done, they're not trying to take advantage of these tools because that's what they're there for. That is what the therapist is there for, is to help families and help people get back to healthy relationships and community.
Exactly. And one thing, like you, how you said, spoke on the therapist. That's what we have to think about these things, bro. It's deep psychological problems that we have as people. We and the fact that a lot of people in America, we need therapists. We might not go to them, but we need them. And with that being said, it shows you we are in a broken society. The fact that we need someone else to be able to look out, someone to have a non-emotional standpoint. For somebody to have a non-emotional standpoint, we got to go through a therapist. But it really should, and especially men, you should be able to come with a non-emotional standpoint. And yeah, and we can say it's America, but I also put the blame on the people, on some people, because it's we got to make the change, man. We got to start growing
Yeah.
and bring
And
family back. Make family back black. We don't got no family in the black community. You know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
think black families do need to come back together and stuff like that. And it's just sad because it's like everybody's situation is different and everybody reason for cutting their parent off or cutting their family off is different. But um I think it's selfish as a family member or even a parent to not want to change for your kids or even see where you went wrong at, because the least you can do is give your child the best life that you can. Yes, we know parents are not perfect. Yes, we know this did not come with a rule book, but I'm kind of tired of hearing, oh, back in the day they didn't have this, we didn't have that, but now we have the tools and we've had them for, you know, however long now. You know what I'm saying? Therapy is a normalized thing. So it's like if you're not going to take the steps to go get the help and be better for your kids and stuff like that, then that's on you. It's an unfortunate decision and stuff like that. But I feel like that's part of the reason why some of these young adults are the way they are, because their parents just did not choose to get themselves together.
Right. With family, you see the one, like they say you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. You know the people that want to grow. It might not be anybody in your family that really want to grow immediately. It might not be any immediate family in your life that wants to grow. But we know it's like those people that want to grow, let them grow with you, and the people that don't, you have to cut them off. They might can watch you from a distance growing, and it might encourage them, but yeah, that with family, man, if they not growing, you gotta leave them. The ones that show you they want to grow, they might not be growing on your pace, but as long as they growing and not staying the same, if they not a old dog you can't teach new tricks to, cut them off.
Yeah. Okay, she said ain't no changing them. Some people can't come back from the things they have done. Yeah, and it is situations like that. I mean, yeah, yeah, that there is, there's exceptions to every rule, you know what I'm saying? So it's like some people, yeah, you just got to stay away from, or you could just love them from a distance. And I feel like those are the people that are messing up the families, because you're doing something to make other people feel uncomfortable to where, okay, hey, I don't want to come around, you know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes it's really just that situation where you just got to stay away from your family and you can make your own family, whether it's friends, like he said, people, your neighbors, people in your community and stuff like that. Because if people just keep on ignoring the issues in the families and keep having these get togethers and not talking about, what's the problems that we have, that's not helping either, because you're just, you know what I'm saying, basically tell everybody, hey, we're going to come together, but we're not going to discuss what Uncle Joe did to such and such.
Exactly. And this one thing that we gotta realize though, like with family, people can do some of the worst things, but if we never accept that person for being who they are, and that's the thing, we have to love everybody. Motherfuckers do some shit. Now, some people, they just some shit cannot be answered for, but we gotta accept what we came from, the people who made us. The people, even if they do fucked up shit, we gotta accept them and love them for who they are. But that does not mean you have to ever speak to them again. Cause I want to see what she's saying. Right, and that's the thing. You better and that's why you gotta love from a distance. Okay, I love this person, who they are. I accept them. I love them, and let them deal with that shit. That's why you can't fuck with them no more.
Yeah. And then also too, when you think about it, when it comes to these detrimental decisions that these people in the family are making, it really don't have nothing to do with you. It's really them. You know what I'm saying? It's the inner work that they need to do on themselves and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't want to do it, and a lot of stuff hold them back, whether it's the stuff that happened to them when they was, a child, or religion, or whatever it is. And it's like you can't let those things hold you back from being a better person. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to have an effect. Like you hear people say, every choice you make, there's a consequence. You know what I'm saying? So if the parents are doing something, it's going to affect the child in some type of way. Maybe not when they're younger, but when they get older, when they get into their adult years, what you're doing is going to affect your family.
And like you said, people using what happened to them as a child, if people are still saying that, that is the major sign. That's a red flag. You need to distance yourself. If even if it's your mom, they telling, well, I done went through this when I was a kid. You can't, like, if a parent is telling, or even a grandparent is telling, or cousins, like, we did this as an adult, as a kid, you ain't like, that person can never give you any good advice. They're just a broken person. They're a broken person. We have a lot of broken people running around. Right. What time is it?
58. Yeah. And I don't know if there's a specific way to for the black families to get back to, the togetherness. I don't know the just one answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, we tell people to talk about their issues. We advise, people to go to therapy and get the help. But the reality of it is, a lot of people aren't gonna go. They're just not. So it's like, at that point, okay, how do you deal with, these toxic families, with these toxic situations? um and it's just like, if that's the last resort where you have to just cut them off, then just do that.
Right. And what you, like you were saying, you might not know the answer. This is what we got to look at history. Like in ancient cultures, in ancient Asian cultures, they had the same family. It was, you all came from the same grandma and all this, but y'all had different sanctions of the family. Y'all had a certain group that stay here, a certain group here, a certain group here. And those people that want to grow, y'all have to make your own sanction. It can be, and they will find people and bring people, their friends that they want to grow. You bring them, and then that's how we reestablish the family unit, just by building community within ourselves. We can't fix any old dogs. We can't fix them that not ready to learn. We gotta fix people that's ready to grow. Or we have to not fix people, they fixing themselves. We have to come together with those people that's ready to grow. not the ones that's on the bullshit. Them motherfuckers, they don't exist. They still part of the family, but it's a whole wall between us.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like it's so hard too. I feel like when it comes to how to direct families to come together, because it's just like, as you get older, as you become an adult and the children come into their own person, they have certain things where they're like, no, I'm not dealing with that. And then it's just like some people don't change. Whether it's the parents, whether it's the uncle, the brother, the sister, the cousin, like some people are just who they are. I'm not saying people can't change, but most people don't change, and so I feel like that is the division too, because if you're not changing and growing and open to learning, like, hey, okay, maybe I did do this wrong, or maybe, I didn't go about this situation the best way, then you know that's bringing even more issues and problems to the table, because it's like I'm trying to communicate to you in a healthy manner, like what you did was wrong, but you don't want to see that you were wrong, or you don't want to be open to it, and you just want to think that you're right all the time because you're an authority figure. That's a problem too.
That's facts, and that's why we gotta say fuck them. The
For real.
motherfucker. Oh God.
Like, and
Anybody that
it be
ain't
like
with
that.
it.
It be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta separate yourself from the crowd, from the family, and stuff like that. And yes, it's sad, but it's just like, if you want to continue to deal with the toxic ways of your family or these toxic family members, like that's on you. If you feel like you don't have no choice but to deal with it, that is a negative mindset, because you do have a choice. You either can deal with it or you don't have to.
Exactly. Um, what's the title of the video again?
The title of this video is called Toxic Family Patterns Recognize and Break Free.
Right. And then so, like she said, those people that's not growing, uh, break free from them people. The people that always have something to say about somebody, not positive, but opposite. You got to break free from these people that are gonna keep you down constantly. You need to recognize them and realize, okay, I accept you for who you are. I'm not gonna say that you can't grow, but I will not be a test dummy to see if you're gonna grow or not. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be it. So don't be a test dummy to people that you know are not really gonna grow, or they are constantly doing the same things. They are just okay with who they are. Those people that are okay with it, leave them. Leave them where they be and love them from a distance. And let them see you from and let them watch you from a distance. If you post on social media, let them see you how great your life is, and maybe it'll bring them back and say, "Hey, I remember the things you tried to talk to me about. I actually want to listen to you, and I'm gonna try not to." And it'll work. It works sometimes. It works. Some people
Mhm.
will come around when they had enough, but everybody wakes up at their own time. Everybody has enough at their own time, but some people never have enough. That's why you got to separate yourself from everyone who's like that until they prove otherwise. And some people are good at trickery, so you got to watch how long they do this. And if they can do it by themselves, right?
Yeah. And I like how she said in the comments, exactly, recognize them for who they are. And that's so true, because, you know, we've been conditioned to, okay, if there's something wrong with this person, just pray for them. And I'm not even trying to bring, religion into it, but it does alter a lot of, the way people think and stuff like that. And it can also promote broken promises and false hope, because at the end of the day, if somebody want to change, they gonna do it for them. They not gonna do it for a religion. They not gonna do it because, oh, this is what God want me to do. It's because they got up and they said, hey, I got some messed up ways about myself. Let me go. try to make it right with my family, or let me make it right with whoever it is, and things like that. So you can't make people change at the end of the day, and I think that's what people have to accept and get comfortable with.
Exactly. Hold up. Red Dot doing that shit. I think we good. We good. We good. But yeah, the, the way the way that you can break free is by recognizing you. Yeah, and you shouldn't let a motherfucker show me once. That's all you got to do. Show me one time, and then I will know how to move with you. But sometimes we love people a little more, and we give them extra chances, and we just hurt ourselves. Well, that's what we got to stop doing, hurting ourselves, trying to please and accept others.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that too, because we've been conditioned. Oh, it's family. It's family. Just get over it or just let it go. And it's like, if something actually really hurt your feelings, if something actually really was done wrong to you, you should be able to come to your family and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You did this to me. And you know what I'm saying? It wasn't right. And, I do feel a type of way about it, but people don't want to have conversations. People don't want to talk. And then also people think they can just do whatever it is that they want to do. Because I'm all for standing up for yourself, defending yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you keep just letting things slide and pile up just because it's family, you're gonna take that into the outside of your family, and you're going to deal with that in your friendships, in your relationships, whatever relationship it is, and that's just not healthy.
It's not. The other people's problems become yours if you accept people, or if you are still around these people and not loving from a distance. Your their problems is yours. The same thing they dealing with, you will eventually start to deal with
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
because they're around. Energy be it mingles.
yeah. And that's the thing, though. That's the thing. People don't want to break free from the illusion and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you got to realize, like, we didn't, before we came here, like, we didn't have an understanding of what we was getting ourselves into when it comes to a lot of our families and stuff like that. So my thing about it is like, people talk about, oh, you need to love your family, and every family issues and all this and that. But yes, granted, every family has issues, but you don't have to deal with that. I feel like that's kind of not an excuse for the toxic, but it's just a way to kind of downplay the toxicness of your family, because yes, we know obviously every family has issues, but you don't have to continue to be in the toxic cycle. You don't have to. That is a choice.
Exactly. It's all the choice. And I'm gonna choose me every time too. I gotta choose my peace over anything and anyone, even a child. If say if you I don't have any children, but say if you have a baby mother or a baby father that you can't deal with, motherfucker, just something that, and then sometimes that's how it is. It's like we gotta just do. We might make decisions. We might put ourselves in our own decisions. In our own, we'll make our own bed that we gotta lay in, but we gotta recognize. I'm
Mm.
losing my shit. I lost what I was gonna say. Fuck. I'm looking at,
Suffering, she was saying,
but
suffering is a choice. It is, because that's all you're doing. You're suffering your own feelings because, oh, this is my family, and that's toxic.
mm-hmm. Saying I gotta do these things for them just because this is family, not because they really make me feel like I want to do this for them, but just because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what we got to
Yeah.
break free from. Like, no, and but this is what I think. family is important, but not the wrong family, not the wrong motherfuckers. If it's the wrong motherfucker, cause I love family, but I don't like being alone. Real shit. I don't like being around motherfuckers that ain't trying to do shit with their life, but I love being around people that's growing.
Mm. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with dealing with your family, but as long as it's to a healthy extent. If it's not healthy, then no, get away from them. Go start your own family. But we're seeing every day, vision of the family and the breakdown of the family, and the falling of, the downfall of families. And it's not just black families, it's all families. But you know what I'm saying, I do care about the black family a little bit more because it's like I am black, you know what I'm saying? But people got to start making better decisions, watching who you have kids with. um People also got to realize at the end of the day, we have been presented a lot of things that are not true. Oh, I'm going to be with this person for forever. That's not necessarily always the case. People get married and they get divorced for whatever reasons it is. You know what I'm saying? And if that's what's healthy for the for the children, for the kids in the situation, then do what you got to do. Handle your business as a grown man and a grown woman. But like I said, a lot of stuff that has been presented to us is not always the case, because there's never a perfect family, there's never a perfect marriage and all this and that. And I'm not saying to just take any and everything. If you gotta leave, you gotta leave. Hey, it is what it is. People leave all the time. But you know what I'm saying? That's where it comes to choosing you and not staying, oh, because you got kids and stuff like that. Because if you can't be mentally stable for your kids, if you can't be healthy for your kids, then it's not a good situation.
To be completely honest, I feel America is cursed because it was built upon fuck shit. It was just built upon fuckery. This shit cursed. That's really how I feel. Like, um, I just think we gotta break free. I think other places actually have culture and actually have morals. We started to accept, just because we were in America, we started to accept so much bullshit that we should have never accepted.
Hmm.
Because I look at other cultures, bro, they don't deal with what the fuck we got going on, except China and Europe, like places like that. They the only people that deal with what we deal with in the family unit. I really think this whole goddamn West is fucked up. That's what I think. The whole West fucked up. That if you go down south on the islands, shit a little better, but in South America, but this shit fucked up.
Yeah, it definitely is, because you know you have a lot of situations where people are like, okay, I'm ready to have kids, but you're not actually ready. Like, financially, yes, you might have the money, but emotionally, are you ready to be there for your child? You know what I'm saying? People stay in situations longer than they should be in, just because of the kids. And really, that's just an excuse, because if it's an abusive situation or there's domestic violence involved in the situation, is that healthy for your kids to be seeing? You know what I'm saying? You arguing, you hitting y'all, really just getting into it, being violent and stuff. What type of example is that for your kids? If you just want to stay because you want to be selfish and you want to stay, then say that then, but don't say I'm staying for my kids, because that's not a healthy example for your kids.
And right, like Empress saying, like I understand they got all type of family problems everywhere. The Dominican Republic is so many goddamn homeless kids. I understand that, but in those places, it is still culture. It is still goddamn village. Motherfuckers still have community. Like it's different. Niggas do nigga shit all up and down, all on in the world, especially in the Western Hemisphere. Where, brother, this is where slavery was the most. where we at in in the Western Hemisphere, and that's what really I feel like messed it up. But some of these places still hold on strongly to their culture because this shit was not like this in the goddamn 30s. Even after slavery, black people was it was community. In the 50s, it was even community. When we started to combine with these people, that's when this shit fucked up.
Mm.
In my mind, it got worse. It was already gonna be worse. We already gonna have those type of family problems due to slavery. The whole Western Hemisphere was filled with slaves, except for South America did not have that much. But all the Caribbean islands, America, North America, filled up with slaves, man. Oh God, I'm gonna speak my mind every trip.
Mm. Yeah, and we need, and like that's like I'm so glad that people are coming out and recognizing that, the abuse is not normal. You know what I'm saying? This violence, and the mama and the daddy not getting along is not normal. The children and the parents not getting along, that's not normal. Um Parents not taking accountability and not speaking to their kids and blaming everything that happened in their childhood on the kids and stuff like that. People are coming out and recognizing that and stuff like that. um and I think that is a beautiful thing, because that's how I feel like that's what we could start. Where we could start with is conversations and stuff like that. You don't have to be a part of certain things, and you can fix certain things yourself by just even recognizing, like, there's wrong in that.
And look, this is how we got to think about it. In conversations with certain people, are we reflecting on the problem? Are we just projecting how we feel? Are we actually reflecting on the problem, or are we just both rejecting how we feel emotionally? And that's the main question. If we are reflecting on problems, this is somebody I need to be with. If we're not, this is not somebody I need to be around.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's so true. It's not just your family. It's not just my family. It's not just his family. This is it's a thing that, you know what I'm saying, that is very prevalent with today's families. A lot of families of today are not together. You know what I'm saying? And just because a family is together doesn't mean that it's a healthy situation, because you could be, separated and stuff like that, and that could be the best situation. It's like whatever works for you and your family. But families have to find a healthy way to deal with each other, deal with the issues, deal with the problems, and stuff like that. And I think a lot of parents feel like, oh well, I tried and blah 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 blah, and it's just like, I mean, maybe some parents really did try, but a lot of these parents didn't, and they're just saying that they tried. You know what I'm saying? Because did you try to have a conversation with your child or why they felt this way about whatever you did? Did you care how they felt? Because there's a lot of black parents that be like, oh, you need to stay in a child's place. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I don't think a child should be trying to come off as an adult, but their feelings do matter. A lot of black parents don't care how their child feels. They don't ask them how was their day at school. They don't care that their child is getting bullied or these serious issues, because yes, the parents are going through things, but the kids are going through things too. And that's what a lot of these parents don't realize. Like, oh, that's nothing. I went through this and this and this when I was a child, and that's the wrong way to go about it. These kids are going through serious issues at home. Some of them are being abused, some of them don't have food, some of them are just being neglected and mistreated, and it's just wrong.
Hurt people hurt people. America filled with hurt motherfuckers, man. We just, and that's the thing. And but these conversations like this are very needed.
Oh yeah, trauma bonding, yeah, that's not healthy. No, it's not.
God.
It's not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, situations, people stay in situations longer than they should. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could have two people that were raised similar and they were raised unhealthy, or two people that their parent both of their parents was in domestic violence situations and stuff like that. That's trauma bonding. Unless they went to therapy and y'all both did the work and y'all talked about it or whatever, whatever. Like, no, y'all both need to go, work on yourselves before, what I'm saying, y'all get together, and not just stay together just because, y'all grew up the same and all this and that. No, that's not okay.
I agree.
I had to realize kids go through stuff also. Yeah, they do. Kids are going through all type of situations, you know what I'm saying? Some kids are being made to sleep on the porch. Some kids are, like I said, they're not being fed properly at home and they're not getting meals. Some kids, are being beaten, and just we there's just so many forms of abuse going on with children nowadays. It's just like, how can you even trust that these parents are doing right by their kids?
Real talk.
It's
I'll
two
be happy.
twenty. It's 2:22.
All right, bet. Um, Thinking about something, and and another thing with family, we gotta just realize they they can't really they're never really gonna. Some people just never gonna see some, and that's the hard reality. We want these people to change, but we got to put ourselves first, and you'll be putting yourself first for a while, but it is a long process of detaching from some people you have been with your whole life, some people that's supposed to love you in certain ways, but they can't because they don't love themselves,
Mm,
and we just
yeah,
gotta.
yeah, that is so true right there, because and that's how you have these young adults growing up in this world and getting into situations faster than they should, because their parents didn't love them, or wasn't necessarily yeah, their parents didn't love them or was neglecting them and stuff, or their parents just was not there. And so that's the consequence, that's the result of these young adults getting it, starting families early and stuff like that, because the parents are either too busy at work, you know what I'm saying, or they just caught up in their own life to even pay attention to what their kids is doing, or try to talk to their kids, or spend time with their kids.
And that's the thing. Money is more important than your own loved ones. It's a sad world that we put that stuff above the people that have come out of you, the ones that you birth. You'll put going to, like, we just don't. It's broken. It's broken. America is broken. I ain't gonna say the whole world because I ain't experienced the whole world. America is.
Yeah, it is, because it's so, America is like so money based, is so business based, and how can we make money off of this and that, and blase blah. And it's just like, but what about the people struggling? What about the people that have real issues going on? What about people's mental health and stuff like that? Like, mental health plays a part in, like, even the topic today of what we're talking about, in just so many different situations, and even with the families, because if your mental health is not right, you can't be a parent. You can't really truly be a parent if your mental health is not right, if you're not in a stable mind frame and stuff like that.
Like we were talking about yesterday, it's that slave mentality. We were, this shit was bred into us, like the work. This shit was forced upon us to work, to have the woman going out slaving when she's supposed to, when she has children. Somebody should, but that's why we need community. I ain't saying women can't work, but y'all already know how I feel about that shit for real. But what new people don't know, so it's just that's what, that's one thing. If we don't have real fathers, we don't have real mothers. How are we even going to survive as a race? That's why, and this is what
Mhm.
I realized. It's self-destructing, especially like in poverty. Like it's very self-destructing.
Yeah, because how can you, like how they say the kids are the future and stuff like that? Like how can you expect the young adults, like your kids that are next young adults to come after you, to be functioning young adults in this world, or even, you know what I'm saying, do right in society, or be a good community um member, if, you know what I'm saying, you didn't do right and you wasn't there for them.
Right, and Empress, that what I'm saying is that's obvious. Like, but we don't have any fathers, like real fathers that are actually getting shit done. They want their woman paying 50-50. Nigga, if you was expecting to have a kid, you should be able to support your wife and your baby 4 years. You should, as soon as she get pregnant, she should not have to work for a whole 4 years. If you can't do that, it's like I understand people don't intentionally pick that, but it's something we're forced to do because we were forced to do that shit in slavery. We are okay with it. You shouldn't be okay with that shit. Shouldn't be okay with having a kid with somebody that can't support you 4 years after you get pregnant. That's like that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
I don't suggest nobody go homeless. If you either got to go put your kids in the daycare to go work this damn job, do that instead of going homeless. But before this happens, we need to realize where this shit come from. It come from being slavery, being in chains where the women had to go out and work. That shit not natural.
and
Women
then
working like men, that shit ain't right.
and then too, you have a lot of these parents, they can't even handle being a parent. They get mad at their child, they want to put them out. You know what I'm saying? They yeah, like they want to put them out and stuff. Don't want to deal with them. So if you don't want to deal with them, they on these phones and they looking stuff up and like basically raising themselves. You have a lot of kids that raise themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's back on the accountability as the parents. You can't complain how your child is or even talk stuff about your child if you didn't put in the effort to truly raise your child.
After, as soon as I get you pregnant, you don't gotta work 4 years. I gotta make sure as a man, I feel like every man should think like that, but they don't. Because they not men, they just boys walking around here. I don't know how you come broke as hell. You can come down there homeless, mama just kicked you out. I'm cool with that as long as you got ambition, as long as you keep yourself together, keep and just be a woman. I ain't gonna force nobody to work. If you want to work, you can work, but just know when you have these goddamn kids, you're gonna be a mother. I ain't gonna allow it.
Mm, yeah. I mean, and maybe marriage did work at one point, you know, maybe marriage did keep families together at one point. But, you know, you have so many people out here getting married for the wrong reasons, getting married because somebody got some money, which I'm not saying you should marry somebody that's broke. You know, obviously you need money to take care of the kids and keep a roof over your head and stuff like that. But just solely just to marry someone off of materialistic things and money and stuff like that, that's not necessarily the right way to go about it either. And then you have, people that had kids that shouldn't even had kids together. And so then that's, a broken home too and stuff like that, because then you got the baby mama on Facebook like, oh, I hate my baby daddy, or my baby daddy ain't this, or my baby daddy ain't that. But did you think about that before you lay down with that person? And it's just like a lot of people aren't thinking before they do stuff. They're just doing it.
That's facts. That's facts. It's the conditioning. It's the conditioning. People think getting married, they not ready to get married. I don't think any, bro. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot to actually, and that's the thing. I don't think a paper should really determine it. I feel like if you, the time you have the time that you feel like, okay, I love this person enough to have sex, you should be like, okay, I'm gonna be with this person the rest of my life. That's like, I just, and then people just so fucking broken. That's why we gotta make this. If somebody is not on your level, do not give them no time of your day. Don't give them no chance at all. None at all.
But every situation wasn't like that. Some people did think before they, some people plan to have, kids who they had kids with, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it was a good, you know, situation. And then unfortunately some people just changed. Some people just changed, and they thought they wanted to be a parent, but then when it really came down to it, that's not what they really wanted. And from their actions and them not being there and them feeling like, oh well, I didn't want them kids, so I don't got to take care of them, and just whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So really, when you have kids, it's a gamble. It really is a gamble, because you don't know, that person could walk away. And like I said, this whole illusion of being with somebody forever, with that one person forever, it's not going to happen like that for everybody. You're not going to always be with this one person for forever.
That's facts. That's facts. I just think, really, to be completely honest, I think everybody is going. You're gonna get signs that this person. I may not need to. I'm not. I think you know. I don't. I don't. Because my mom, the same, what the exact situation you described. Like, you think you want to have kids. That's how my dad was. But she already had ideas. Like, she knew this shit. She really knew this shit, but she did. She was in love. That's the thing. Is like, you got to use logic and love together. You have to use logic before you use love.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
definitely, definitely. Because then, like I said, you have, you have these two people that laid down together and they created a child. They created a family. You know what I'm saying? And you have, like I said, maybe in the beginning, some situations, this is what they both agreed to. But like I said, people change, and I feel like also as a mother, like you have to just know, or a lot of women need to start thinking like, okay, like yes, we're together now, but we might not be together 15 years down the road. And that's not negative. It's not having a negative mindset. It's just knowing like, okay, like I might not be with you forever, so let me have my bearings together if me and my kids gotta go.
All right, I feel that, and that's why people need to know them. People be acting crazy on this road. That's why people need to know themselves before, and that's the reason we make these type of videos, so you can know yourself before you get in a predicament. Because it's gonna be hard if you go do this shit and you weren't ready.
Mhm. Definitely. I like what she said. A lot of times they just running from a toxic environment thinking they finna create a better one with no tool. Yeah, and that is so true. And that's a lot of situations. Like you have these younger these young girls, like, even after they graduate high school, or even in high school, where they get messed around and got pregnant and stuff like that. um but that's not also just because they, thought they, was able to handle what they was doing. They didn't realize the consequences. Maybe they mama wasn't talking to them, or just whatever the case may be. But definitely you got to be mindful, like, okay, if I am doing this, I could possibly, a child could come out of this. And a lot of people don't think about that. They just worried about the pleasure, but they not worried about, dang, I might bring a child into this world. And so a lot of people don't take that serious. They don't realize the seriousness of it.
Right, and it is very important to love yourself before you try to go love others. And if you don't love yourself and you're happy, I understand that sex is the cheapest dopamine fix. That's the cheapest way to feel good. It's free, but we gotta love ourselves so we can. If it's because, like you said, it's a chance you're bringing a child into this world, and if you're not loving yourself, how would you expect to love this child that you may produce?
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to, like I said, with women, I mean, it's not just about women, it's women and men that are both doing things to contribute to, these broken families and the downfall of the families. But like I said, when it comes to women, they just gotta get past this fantasy, like, oh, I'm having kids with this person, this is who I'm gonna be with forever. Just know it might not be like that. And a lot of
Hell no.
people need to get that. I'm sorry, but they do. A lot of people need to get that
Oh,
out
that's
their head.
oh hell no. I don't think that way. Look, I'm old school because look, I understand that, but the reason we go into something thinking that because we expecting this shit to fuck up. If you go in the end, oh yeah, I'm probably not gonna be. You don't need to be with them. It's a reason you're thinking like that. You're not ready to accept being with this person for the rest of their life, or this is just not the right person. If you going into something feeling that way, I just man, because that's I'm not going. I ain't finna. I'm not dating nobody. I don't see myself being with the rest of my life. And the people that I have seen myself.
Mm, mm. I just say that because I'm not saying you gotta go into it. I'm just saying, like, that, just keep that in the back of your mind. Because also too, if you think you're gonna be with this person forever, you might accept a lot of stuff from that person that's not necessarily right, just because you think, oh, this is my person, this is the person that I'm supposed to be with. And like I said, sometimes people do stay in situations longer than they should have stayed in. So it's just like, even knowing that, okay, yes, I could be with this person, maybe I might not be with this person forever. You know what I'm saying? You just really got to see how it play out, because that's.
Now these cars. If say what you were saying again. What was like basically what you said?
Oh, like, you just got to know that it's a possibility that you might not be
Nah,
with
it
this
was.
person for
Oh
forever.
look, no, no, no. This what I was saying. Yeah, look, if that person be doing bad stuff, say if that person starts to do you wrong, goddamn, a year later, you did not vet they at. You didn't get to know this person enough. The fact that you only know them a year and you pregnant already or something, like you got. That's why the dating process before you have sex. I don't gotta have sex. That's the thing. Some people just be needing that shit and you fuck up. You fuck up at not vetting the person because I if that person started doing you wrong, they been you could have been you would have picked up on that before you got this leap in it. Cause somebody ain't gonna just flip overnight. And if they do, they was just they tricked your ass, but you allowed yourself to be tricked by somebody that ain't had the best intention. I don't think good people I don't think it be red flags. That's what I really be thinking. It be red flags that we ignore.
Yeah, like there
We
was
don't, and
this.
we be having sex too early. We don't date long enough. We don't vet them long enough. We're not friends. We don't learn to become friends before we become sexual partners.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people do that and stuff, and that's how a lot of these broken homes or broken situations happens because they was too quick to lay down first before they, you know what I'm saying, got busy with it. And I'm not saying like, you know what I'm saying, you gotta wait till you're married. I mean, if that's what you want to do it. But I mean, you'll find out quickly if you want to lay down with that person or not.
That's the thing. But what mindset are you operating from? Do you have some problems with? 'Cause I know how I be. I have good discipline, but if somebody look good enough,
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, it's just like everybody go about stuff different, so it's hard to say. Like, I mean, for me, like I have to actually like you to even want to consider doing stuff like that. Like, I don't want to just do that just cuz somebody fine or whatever it is. Like, if I actually genuinely like you, then yeah, I will be open to doing that. But a lot of people don't go about it like that.
a baby,
Mhm.
that person never again. The baby will never meet him.
Yeah.
I just see it happen like numerous of times.
She said, "I'm no longer dating. I've been celibate for 5 years plus." I mean, that's nice. That really is nice.
Man,
Like I
I
think
know.
that's dope.
I had laughed for a second. I hope that junk don't. It be fixing on my end real quick.
She said, "I never realized as a mother, me being unhealed could potentially fuck up my child." Yeah, I think a lot of parents they don't realize that. That's why it's like because they parents didn't realize that, because a lot of people just had to before it was CPS and you know all these laws when it comes to children and stuff like that. Like a lot of children had to just take stuff and couldn't talk about, oh, this is going on to me, this is being, you know what I'm saying, I'm being abused and all this and that. So it's like a lot of parents know they don't realize, but that's what I'm saying, when your child comes to you and tries to talk to you about it, and if you have, as long as you have an open mind, like, dang, this, what I did, it could have been wrong, you know what I'm saying, it could have been messed up or detrimental, you know what I'm saying. But a lot of parents just have this mindset like, I know what's best for my child, and I'm right because I'm the parent and I'm the authority figure and stuff like that. And it's just like you can't always go into every situation like that. Sometimes as a parent you be wrong.
And and one thing I realized about parents, like accountability just lacks a lot of the times. Like they're not really accountable for their actions. And it's like you can go to parents, but if they're not accountable, you got to really give up on certain people. Not necessarily, yeah. It's kind of like not giving up where this person will never get better, but realizing I'm not gonna be able to assist in this person getting better. I'm not gonna be able to be around this person until they make that decision for themselves to start
Hmm.
getting better.
or realizing like you're not gonna be able to have the relationship that you want to have with your parent because they don't want to change their ways. They don't want to, they don't care, because a lot of parents will be like, I don't care how you feel. Whatever I say goes, and blah, blah, blah. And that's dismissive. That's very dismissive to a child. And like, they're going to remember, like, because they're going to be telling their kids, like, when I grew up, my mama didn't care about, when I tried to talk to her about this, or this happened to me. Or even as far as going, like, not even you doing something to your child, somebody else doing something, or a family member doing something, and you just steady telling your child, oh, well, you lying, that didn't happen, that ain't never happened.
The school system is raising these children. The children will feel more comfortable telling the guidance counselor what's going on. Cause I have done it, bro. Like, and then motherfuckers try to blame me. Cause look, I used to be getting whoopings from my little sister with a belt with some goddamn fake diamonds on them. Like,
Mm.
I ain't. So I go tell the guidance counselor. They mad at me. I'm telling the truth. I
Mhm.
just, you whooping me for somebody else. Nah, that shit ain't right. Like, I ain't stunting that shit. I love my mom. I ain't even stunting it, but
Mhm.
it just be look. It just be the school system. The people in the hood raising your kids, other children raising kids. That's the main problem.
But it's like, either way, regardless, like, that was traumatic for you. That was a serious situation, because at the end of the day, no matter how you want to look at it, a lot of these parents, and I don't know if that was your situation or not, a lot of these parents be leaving siblings to raise, you know what I'm saying, the siblings or the kids and stuff like that, and that's not their space, that's not their place, that's not what a child is supposed to do. Because y'all all kids, just because you're the oldest and stuff like that doesn't mean you should be disciplining, your siblings and stuff like that. Or, like you said, whooping them, or, just whatever it is. That's not really, a child shouldn't be doing that.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I ain't no none of my siblings with me, but I done got whoopings for them.
Mhm.
Like, I ain't do shit. It's just and girls know how to play on mama emotions a lot too. So, but um, yeah, it's like, bro. And one thing we gotta realize, our families have fucked us up tremendously, terribly. Our families have put us in not so good predicaments, and I ain't gonna lie. Like, you got, I understand. Some people just, it's hard. It's hard being an adult, but we should not have to go through a lot of shit we go through as children. And
Mhm.
that shit is plain and simple. Like,
Yeah.
this shit.
Cause why do you think, most of these adults can't get it together? Or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of these adults can't get it together because of what they went through as a child. When you're putting adult responsibilities on a child, and then as the child gets older, they think they grown, you can't be mad at them because you put adult responsibilities on them. No child should be responsible raising another child and stuff like that, taking care of, they siblings. They need to have a childhood. Let them be a kid. I'm not saying that kids can't have responsibilities, yes, because they need to know responsibilities. But as far as like raising their siblings and stuff like that, and making them babysit because you got to do this and that, or you know what I'm saying, like, okay, every once in a while that's cool, whatever. But making them babysit all the time and all this and that. No, that's not right, because if you wasn't ready to have multiple kids or figure out, childcare or whatever it was, that's your fault.
Mm, facts.
And you got to take accountability as a parent for that. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, like that's not that's not your place to be babysitting your siblings all the time. That's something that mama needs to figure out because mama laid down and had all these kids and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like poverty, bouncing off what Empress was saying. Like the poverty, that shit is not. I don't know what that, bro. They didn't. They fucked us up with this one. Like being in poverty, bro, is because, bro, shit starts to happen. Like she said, some of these people be predators. These kids that growing up in poverty, some of these motherfuckers really are predators.
Mhm.
Like, and I like I like to have hope for our community, but a lot of this shit too far gone. We gotta create our own shit. That's why I'm for leaving this fucked up ass country. You know, when I can go, I'm leaving and never coming back.
Yeah, that's so true. And I
I
feel
don't even
like,
want to visit.
yeah. And it's not just the siblings. You know what I'm saying? You got uncles and aunties that are predators. You know what I'm saying? You got
Right.
older cousins and stuff like that that are predators, and saying certain, having certain conversations around kids that shouldn't be held, or just doing inappropriate things like smoking in front of children and things like that, or just playing inappropriate music and things of that nature and stuff, and that starts to play in the child's mind. Or let's say your child has a cousin that's around the same age, but the cousin is doing things earlier than your child is. That's, what I'm saying, that's a predator, that's an influence, what I'm saying, on your child.
Hmm.
So it's just, so it's levels to it.
Exactly. I just arrived at my destination.
Okay.
Um, this was a great topic.
Definitely. I appreciate you coming on and stuff, and when we can go live together, we will. I also go live too. I think I went live by myself like one time, but I just want to have as many guests as I can, because we're talking about real conversations and we're bringing real situations to light and stuff like that. And y'all have a blessed day.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right.
Okay.